Hi everyone, it's Dr. Leola. I'm just going to go through and introduce you all to the site. I know you've had a week already to kind of figure it out and navigate some of it on your own, but I just want to make this short video of going over where things are and how things are organized, just to first give you some insight into like what I'm thinking in terms of the organization, and then just so that we can be sure that everyone's on the same page in terms of where things are, where you can find stuff, and so on. Okay, so here is our site main page. You can see that we start off with just a course description and then a discussion of how the course will run. Please read this if you haven't already. As a quick kind of overview, we have kind of two different organizational structures going on this semester. One of them is the units, which are by week, and one of them is the episodes, which we have basically 3 episodes per unit, although the first unit only had 2 episodes. So each time you do an episode of Black Mirror, you have a few tasks to do. There's a content quiz, a response, a written response, a short video analyzing something formal about the about the episode, and then an annotated bibliography entry that connects something in real life technology to something happening in the episode. Then in addition to that, every week for our units, there will be a set of readings, and then a set of keywords that you'll be defining on the wiki. Okay, I want to draw your attention to the fact that there are different due dates for each of these things. So all of the Black Mirror stuff is due on our kind of virtual class days, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, and then all of the unit stuff on the week is due Saturdays at midnight, which is the end of the week. Okay, so I want to also note that I'm scrolling in the middle like this, as you can see, but all of this is also organized over here by a menu. So if you're kind of done with the continuous scroll, you can find what you want. So like Unit 1, clicking there takes you right to the Unit 1 block in the scroll. Hang the DJ block, and so on. Okay. So if the continuous scroll is kind of driving you nuts, that's why I've set it up this way, because we have this double left-hand menu over here. Once we get to Unit 1, everything after that goes in chronological order. But let's get back up here to the general content. So besides the introduction, we have a syllabus and schedule. Right now you have the syllabus document, which generally goes over the course policies, but shortly you will have a schedule as well, which gives a basic sketch of what episodes we'll be watching when and what readings will accompany those episodes. Okay, in the next section, assignment sheets, you have both assignment sheets and assessment guides for each assignment that you'll be doing. So just to open one up so you can see what they look like. Here is for the episode response. So each of the assignment sheets has, of course, the running header with the class information, the name of the assignment, and then the due date as a reminder. You can read about the objective of the assignment here, so why I'm having you do it, what you should be learning, a description of the assignment, some notes about like the length of it, the due date, again, as a reminder, a note on rhetorical awareness and tone. So this just has to do with like how formal or informal things should be. The late work policy, and then a note about the assessment. Okay, so every assignment you have, you'll have one of these documents which clearly articulates what you should do for each thing. So before emailing me with not knowing what you're supposed to do, check this out, and if you still have questions, then by all means please reach out, and I'm happy to clarify things further. Okay, accompanying that, you also have an assessment guide. It looks like this. Okay, so it's your basic spreadsheet. You have the criteria you're being assessed on, how many points you can get for that assessment, and then here is where I'll calculate the points you've earned, and then some comments on those 2 areas. Okay, so there's always a note on content, always a note on rhetorical awareness. Things get totaled up. And then you can see in each of these 2 areas, there's a description of what I'm looking for content and what I'm looking for rhetorical awareness. So this is kind of where things are weighted and what I'm looking for. So I really encourage you all to look at these when you make your assignments, because this tells you what I think is important and what I'm going to be assessing you on and what I'm going to be grading you on. So if you're never kind of like sure, again, what to do from the assignment sheet, this might also help you. Although this is taken, directly from the assignment sheet. So there's nothing secret or hidden or made up between the two. They're really like a one-to-one correspondence. Okay, so that's what's happening in this section of the course page. So underneath that, we have our course wikis. You know we have two wikis. We have one for keywords, one for annotated bibliographies. Here, this is the keyword wiki. I'm just going to draw your attention to one thing. So if we go into the wiki page, you'll notice that we have this table of contents. And this is something that Moodle and the wiki feature of Moodle automatically does when you use certain formatting. So if we look at this one affect, and I'm going to just go into the editing screen. I assume your editing screen looks like this. If it doesn't, then if someone could let me know, that would be great, because I've never seen the student end of Moodle. So in any case, let's assume this is everyone's editing screen. I'm going to open this up. Here's our editing dialog box, and then here's, of course, where you write. So this here, that's highlighted, affect, that's our keyword. So you see that that's been formatted with heading small, right? Whereas this part, the description, the contribution, is formatted in paragraph, right? So you can see, first of all, how this makes for a nice, easy reading situation. But what's really great about this is that everything that's formatted in a heading, so any one of these headings, large, medium, or small, the wiki tool is going to automatically create a link for that up in the table of contents. So see, here's affect, boom, there it is, right? So that's why I've given you a few notes about making sure that you format things correctly. That's why, because it's much more usable, right, when we have a nice clean table of contents list of terms up here. It just makes it a little bit easier to navigate. So under the course wikis, we have a resources block. Right now, this just has a book for video essay resources, but I'll be adding more books with different topics of resources as we go along. So if we look in the video essay resources book, you can see that right now there are 6 different chapters which talk everything about the video essay. So first, what it is, how it relates to a written essay, what goes into it, and then what kinds of content you can use. So if you're not sure if you're doing the formal analysis videos right, look here, right? Because this is, I've put this together specifically for you with my expectations in mind. So, you know, read through this and see if it can help you. Okay, chapter 2, you have some general examples of video essays. These are all not professional, but like a higher level of amateur than what I'm necessarily expecting in this class. Though certainly if you put stuff together like this, that's awesome. And I would not be upset about that, but I'm not necessarily expecting it either. So you'll notice that each one of these is talking about different movies and some kind of essay topic about those movies. If you want, I would really encourage watching some of these so that you get a sense of how they work with narration, how they cut clips together, and kind of what a really great video essay can look like. Okay, so that's what's here. Chapter 3 is also video essays, but they're specifically about different formal features in film. So you'll see some of these show up later on in different parts of the class. But again, if you're still kind of not sure what we even mean by formal analysis, these can give you some examples of that. Chapter 4 is a guide, again, from me for how to get started putting a video essay together. Chapter 5 is a short video lecture of me kind of going through the video essay assignment, and then also how you can use a slide deck in something like Google Slides or PowerPoint to put together a video essay. And then here is a short tutorial on working with Screencast-O-Matic to get your video clips and edit those clips. This has just been added since a number of you asked for some help with this, so this is just to, again, help you guys out. Okay, so let's come back out here. So that's our resources. Then we've got our Unit 1 block. At the beginning of each unit, I'm going to give you a description of what the unit is focused on and what our kind of main ideas we want to cover are. And then a suggestion of how to organize your time. So remember that for each unit you have keywords and readings, so those can be found in the overall unit block. Okay, so of course for Unit 1 you should have read Chapter 1 from Cartwright and Sturkin, the data and technology entries from Keywords for Media Studies, and then here is the list of keywords for the unit. I'm not going to create an additional list anymore. I'm just going to put it up on the page in the wiki. So if we go back to the keywords wiki, you can see that the Unit 2 keywords are just in directly on that page. Right? Okay, so I want to highlight that this schedule is always a suggestion. You can balance your time how you want, but you know when things are due according to the syllabus and according to the note at the beginning of how the class runs, right? So how you want to spread out that time is entirely up to you. Okay, so then underneath each unit, you'll have a block for each of the episodes in that unit. So our first episode, of course, was Hang the DJ. So that comes right after Unit 1. And then within that, each of your episode blocks, you'll always find a book that kind of gives a guide to the assignments, a link to the content quiz, a link to the response form where you should write your responses to the episode, and then a place where you can submit your formal analysis video. You'll notice that there's nothing here for the annotated bibliography or the keywords. That is because the annotated bibliography and keywords should both be submitted to the wiki. So in an effort not to make things confusing, I'm not adding an additional assignment portal here. Okay, where that does go though is down here in placeholders. So you'll notice down in placeholders we have a bunch of stuff that you can't submit anything to. This is just here to make the gradebook work in Moodle and to make the calendar work in Moodle. So each of these has the due date and the point values and so on for the assignments, but you do not turn anything in here, right? So for instance, the Hang the DJ episode response is here, but that of course should be submitted to the forum. The annotated bibliography is here, but that should go to the wiki, right? So that's what this placeholders block is, and that's why it's at the bottom, because you don't really need to worry about it. All right, so back to our episode block. Within the top book, the assignments guide, if you open that, you'll always find what you should do for each episode, right? So you've got a link to the content quiz for the first chapter. You have the prompt for the episode response that should go to the forum. You have a description of something to do with formal analysis of videos, plus then a prompt of what you should focus on for this episode's video. And then you have a reminder of the annotated bibliography and a list of topics for each episode. You don't have to look in these topics. These topics are just suggested if you're really not sure where to start. But if like you watch an episode and you're like, oh, this immediately makes me think of this thing that I heard about, then and that's not listed here as a topic, that's totally fine. In fact, that's great. So that can still go on the annotated bibliography. Just make sure that you format and follow the assignment as it should be done. Okay, so that is what's happening on our Moodle site. I will be adding things as we go. So far you have everything for the entire history of you and Archangel. And then I'll be adding the content for Men Against Fire tomorrow. So this is the last week where the last day where things will be a little bit wonky in terms of timing. But going forward, you'll always have your the assignment book completed and portals created and so on. You'll always have all of that done the night before anything is due at the very latest, though the goal is to give you a couple of days before things are due. Okay, so that is our site. I hope that this clarifies some things if you've been kind of unsure of where things are. But that's effectively what's going on. So great, thank you all. I will keep looking for your submissions and your stuff, and thanks.